Thank you. Thanks for the beautiful playing. I didn't notice so many things. Actually, I was quite enjoying myself listening to you. You have good sense of phrasing and really nice sound, really warm sound, especially in the middle register. The warmth in the sound was all the time throughout the piece. Having said that, what I wanted to work with you is mainly to have this beautiful warm sound, but at the same time this more sense of projection and more volume, possibly. Yeah, like even when you play soft stuff, I think you can still have this more core, tight core in the sound. Okay. So if you don't mind, could you play once more from the beginning of the second movement?
Sure.
Yeah. Good, very good, very good. I mean, this is very intimate moment, a very intimate music, very sad, and you, of course, you want to stay within the piano color and everything. But what I just thought is that if I would be in the 10th row, I'm literally just in front of you, but still I feel like I don't get much sense of projection. In this distance. So imagine if I would be in the 10th row. So what I want you to try to demonstrate now is to a sense of long line, and I think the sense of phrasing is there. I got where you want it to go and everything. Just try to be even clearer. For example, in the first phrase, you want to go towards C, I guess.
Yeah.
So be more brave with your end goal. That was somehow there, but I didn't feel like you were really taking me to there.
Okay.
And one more thing, this projection has to do with the preparation. My idea is that especially when you, to the point when you reach the goal of a phrasing, right before I need more vowels between notes.
Sure.
For example, if you just stay very much which is still beautiful and can work, but then I don't get the sense of, yeah, where is it going exactly? So can you think about that and playing it once more for me? from that phrase just now, where we stopped, I feel like you released a lot on the long E flat.
Right.
But I have a sense that you want to release it on the C.
Yeah.
So how can we achieve that? I think actually the connection between E flat and these sextuplets. I think you can use this connection between notes much more for you to arrive on the C, and then everyone understands that that's the end goal, right?
Okay, sure.
Okay, once more, just from the phrase sol mi. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful. So much better. I already have a feeling that you got the sense of more air and then this connection between notes. Just where we stopped, I think still you have lots of notes before arriving this high C, where you want to come out the most, I guess. But it was too sudden.
Okay.
Still more preparation. So what I mean by that is, and then I think you can really, really sing it out, this high C. I still feel like it came out too sudden.
Yeah.
And then you didn't really embrace the high C enough before you move on to the next.
Okay.
So can you just go from that phrase and really sing it out in the high C? Great. When I practice things like this, usually I just try to practice slowly, just to understand these connections between notes. Sure. For example, so that I don't go. That to me sounds without any vowels.
Okay, yeah.
But what I missed is a tan 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 tia. I missed this E between B and C.
Okay.
Si do. This one. So just as an experiment, how about you play a bit slowly, but think about this vowel between notes.
Okay.
I think the key is the note right before.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. If I go really slow motion, it would be like this. I don't just mean vibrato, but this space in the notes. If you close it up like, then for me, I have much less chance to make this high note shine. Thank you very much, Michael. It was so much better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kyeong, for your insight in the Crusell Divertimento. And if you may, we will continue with Brahms' Second Symphony, the third movement, please, Michael. Thank you, Michael, very much for this. Just a few words about Brahms. You know, you can imagine this big man with a huge beard, completely obsessed with Beethoven music and the symphonies that he wrote. And himself, Brahms was struggling to write his own symphonies, and he was really caring about details. For instance, it shows in the beginning of this allegretto grazioso. You know, it's very detailed. You have the accent on the third beat, for instance. You have some legato with staccato. I think you should look very clearly about all the detail in articulation and see if you can play, show this in your playing. Try again the beginning, please. Super, Michael, I love that. You know, what does the bass play? Is it with a full bow? Is it pizzicato? What kind of sound is it from the bass?
With a pizz.
It's pizz, exactly. It could be extremely light, I think, from you. Imagine you could play pizz with a reed. It would be a dream, right? But this kind of sound, try to find something similar. fantastic. The atmosphere is much better. You see this big legato from the second beat, the low D, up to the E in the next bar. I think this is special. He's trying to work with the structure of the music. Of course, it's 3/4, but he's really doing much more with it. You know, he's like shifting away the sense of downbeat and everything. If you could really play over the bar line, it would be beautiful. I suggest you start the upbeat of bar 7, the triplets. Do, si, la, sol, mi, fa. To be a little bit ahead of the piano. Yeah. It's beautiful how you do. Interesting, when you have this chromatic line from the F sharp, you see in bar 16, is building up the chromatic line and it adds interest in it with the syncopation, right? Yeah. However, this is still an accompaniment to the main voice in the right hand of the piano. So if you could be very aware of the melody of the piano and just give a rhythmical input to it, right? Shall we try that? We could play from bar 15, one bar before your F sharp. Super. Last thing I would like to do after the fermata, so when you repeat the theme from the beginning, this accent on the third beat means probably this is the most important note, right? So imagine the two first notes are a sort of upbeat to the third beat, right? Pim, pim, pirim, pim, pim, pirim. Let's do it with the one bar before, so bar 22, right? Full of expectation in the fermata before the repeat of the theme. Thank you very much. I think this is it for now. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bravo. Hello, Ayane and Neea. This is so nice to have you on stage. If you may, let's work on the last three movements of the temporal variations by Britten, right? So you may start with the waltz, please, directly.
Okay.
Thank you. you so much. I'm so sorry to interrupt. But may I ask you, Neea, something interesting. The two movements that you play now, you play the polka, and before that you play a waltz. What do you think these are? What kind of music can it be?
Well, I really like this waltz, is so something dancing, and also polka.
And polka is also a dance, you're completely right. So there we have two dances, right? The polka is from Poland, Polish polka. It's a dance from Eastern Europe, right?
Yes.
And this piece by Benjamin Britten, actually, when he first wrote it, he called it the Temporal suite, the suite. And we know the suites like the suites by Johann Sebastian Bach for cello. It's also a suite of dances. Yes. So that's interesting to know that towards the end of this piece, he put these two dances, like, ironically, because the piece is all about, it's a protest against war, and he wrote it between the First World War and before the Second World War when he up, and he wrote this kind of light waltzes, So I think you should try and find the right character from the very beginning, for instance.
Yes.
Allegretto rubato. I think even the piano can sort of search for a tonality. We're not so sure where we are. And the gesture you have, ta-da-dee, ta-da-dee. You could exaggerate that you want to start a little bit sooner than it's supposed to be. Shall we try the beginning of the waltz?
Yes.
Beautiful. Do you see this? Neea, thank you. Do you see this little detail at bar 176? He writes espressivo, right?
Yes.
And not only there you have a much longer legato over how many bars? Four, almost 5 bars?
Yeah.
So imagine that everything that's before, it's without even touching the sound, right? It's really on the surface. And the legato, you could completely go into the sound, into the material of the sound.
Yes.
We try directly, 173 is enough.
Okay.
Super, that's lovely. You see he's playing here with the full tone, like you did. And at 179. So there is always this game about semitone or a full tone. I think you should be very aware of it, right? Let's take from the a tempo again at 180. Then you have the semitone again, but in reverse order. We take from 181 a tempo. Super, beautiful. 187, you see there, you start with a full tone and is avoiding the real chromaticism. I think you should just spend more time to explore these intervals.
Yes.
Directly 186, the espressivo. Great, it's fantastic, it's coming to life. Now you see you have this fight again, the E natural, the E flat, that is not sure which one to choose. Nobody knows, but really feel there is the tension between the two. Now let's look at the a tempo now from 202. You see this a tempo from 202 and really design really the tension between E natural and E flat. How do they fight one against the other? Okay? Let's try directly 1 or 2 or 2. Yeah, super, super. Exactly. So you bring the energy to a different level with the poco accelerando. And at 209, I think this animato, you should just glide on the energy that you created, right? Pararadam, 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 pam, paradi, paradi, taradi, darada. Almost in one there, really like the dancing waltz.
Okay.
Let's try 206 directly. The polka, again we go on to the polka, it's also a 5. The piano starts with this G sharp 8, tarap, tarap, and you respond with F sharp G. So again, the semitone is very, very key here in that movement, and you really disagree, right? Let's try the polka from the beginning. Beautiful, I like very much. You see the way he writes for you the 16 notes, he groups them by 2, right? 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. I think he wants a clear separation. Ti hatta 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 hatta, ti hatta hatta. Imagine you have a long spaghetti, a dry spaghetti that you cut into small pieces, right?
Yes, okay.
It should feel very, very dry and you could cut through the sound. Let's start directly from 227 with a bit. Ti yam. Okay. Let's go. Exactly, super. And what you do here is exactly what we talk about. You interrupt. So Ayane comes in with a new idea, 249. You should feel this anger. Why? Why is the war? You know? Why are we fighting against each other? We should love each other. Let's try just the last thing we do now from 247. That's it. Beautiful. Fantastic. Let's leave it like this. Thank you very much for these 2 movements. Bravo. Well played.
Thanks, Inka. I think we can little work on this, but there are already really many good things there. Just something I was thinking about the beginning, that I felt that you were not sure how fast you are going to play. So you have to think the tempo before you start.
Yes.
Now you just weighted the piano, and also for the next upbeat, so that you had the tempo in your mind. Was this okay tempo, or was it too slow, or?
It could be forward more.
I think so too, because it's maybe easier to play that way.
Yeah.
And then what kind of dynamics have you thought about this in this beginning?
I think it would be not more, but maybe mezzo forte, mezzo piano, mezzo forte.
So something like
Open.
relaxed and open.
Yes.
Yeah, good. And I was thinking, could you open a little bit your embouchure, because I was thinking that you are pressing a bit too much, so a little more so a little more air and less pressure from the lips. Hey, yes, we could take the two rows at first and try to find the free blowing there.
Yes.
And especially when you go to the high, think more of the E sound, but still air, focused air there. Okay?
More air,
Yeah. Thanks. It was already much better, I feel. How do you feel?
Yeah, it feels better.
Yeah, good. Still, if you can do little more directions to the half note E flat and to the bar 8, so the whole phrase goes to those. I heard those already, but I think you can do a little more of that. Yeah, and maybe for the first note of 11, you could go a little more to that G and also the low B natural. And when you go down, open a little more still, because you have played a long passage, high register, so I think the embouchure and the air in your mouth is small, so just you have to exaggerate this movement. Hey, once more, and then we can continue a little further.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, how about the upbeats? In the beginning now they were long, but here in the 12 you played pam pa. I would love to have them all the same, and I would prefer long. What do you think? Yeah. So every time you have an upbeat, it could be long, but going to the first beat.
Yeah.
So soft beginning of the upbeat, and then little stress to the first note. Maybe in bar 15, when these 32 notes starts, you could take little time in the beginning, da 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 da, and then going.
Yeah.
So little pressure and release it a little bit. And after you breathe in bar 16, I felt that those 8 notes didn't actually lead to the next, so you can concentrate on that little, and then when you jump to the low, think of more of that, like being a basso singer, bass singer, and then again jump to the high and remember the air.
Yes.
But otherwise it was already really good. We could just test this body, this big jump from the bar 16. Ayane doesn't have to play that, just the jump. Yeah, high note is good. Can you get the low note more, resonating more? Yeah? Oh. Yeah, that sounds already much better. Yeah. And could you just take now the 8 note upbeat to that, so we have that bar? Yeah? Yeah, much better. Could those 8 notes be still a little longer and crescendo in those? So now I felt they were quite same. Just once more. And also here. Yeah. Yeah, much better. Now we could take the upbeat to bar 13 and play this ending once more.
Breathing.
Yeah.
Where I should.
Yeah, I think you are slowing a little down.
Yes.
That's because that's the reason you can't play the end until the end. But you can practice this little for the next week.
Yeah.
And maybe we can also check some little reads.
Yeah, I think this is like too.
Yeah, too close a little bit.
So.
Yes. But hey, very well played, Inka.
Thank you.
And see you next week.
Yes.
Okay.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Grace and Ayane. There were already a long line which you were building, but I was thinking that you have to, of course, think the big beats, but I feel if you see a swan in the lake, you see the majestic swans gliding without any movement, but still underneath the water there are swan's legs or whatever they are, which are doing the beat. So I was thinking that you should have like the legs there beat where you think all the quarter notes, because sometimes you shorten the long note a bit, so it shouldn't be sounding that you are counting quarter notes, but you have to know exactly when to change notes, otherwise your crescendos and pressures are not on the right place. So we could start with the beginning. Just the two first phrases. Did you notice that the first one is just piano, and the second one there's this little diminuendo? So I was thinking that you could do a little more difference on that. So the first should start as soft as you ever can, and I heard the nice little crescendo diminuendo in the end, but you can do it just a hinge more, and when the second comes, do more of the pressure and diminuendo, and then a bigger crescendo. And then you have to prepare the breathing before the long C sharp, so just take little time until that. We could do only these first two at first. Thank you. Hey, the beginning was now just really good. Thank you, Grace. When you have this long C sharp on the fifth bar, I think you should keep it very, very soft. And just before you change to the low, take it little out. But somehow I felt that you were not quite sure where to change the note. So 1, 2, 3, even it feels stupid to count, but then you know where to do the crescendo. And about the 8 notes, 2 bars later, you can start a little slower, dee da 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 dee da 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 da, and going back again. Yes, this phrase. Good. Hey, then one suggestion for this, or kind of idea, because here you start now the big thing here. So you have this strong F sharp, and later on strong A, and then C. Yeah. So you have to find the kind of the dynamics so that the F is less than A, or A is more, and C is. And every time you have before that this da dee da 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 dee da da. Every time you should play that stronger but less rubato, I think. So you are going a bit forward, and especially here it's important that you count 8 notes, quarter notes, because then you can get the kind of the line building up and no sudden things there. Yes. But with these breathing places were just perfect. So now we could start with the F sharp. just some little things still. When you do the crescendo, you should articulate more these small slurs when you are in a stronger dynamics. So before this fortissimo, just before A, so the GA should be really increasing the strength of the tongue, and also this triplet, what you have. So you are really going to this C, and also in E, this B, pa-di-da-da-da, should be really strong. So you are not doing any. Then for the future, I know that there is not originally a breathing place, but in orchestra I always breathe, but I breathe before you did. So if you leave it too long, then everybody hears your breathing. But in this bar E, which is E, there is oboe supporting you, and you can ask your colleague to play very loud, so you could breathe in the end of this bar A, E. So, and then you can do the diminuendo.
So I should always articulate like the small slurs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think these big slurs are kind of the phrase slurs, and these small are what you articulate. And only one thing, the long A, don't release and do the diminuendo. So you, if you take it too strong, you can't hold it. So you have to really think the dynamics you do. Good. Hey, how about once more this passage? Really good. It was already, this passage we practiced, it was really good. This ending, you could take a little more time in this last ya-da-di-da-da-da, really like slowing, because the material is changing after that. And when you start, you are doing the diminuendo for the F sharp, but you have somehow take the solo again when you take the 8 notes. So little crescendo just before, and then really good crescendo on the D sharp. So once more, this just ending from the bar after E. Yeah, from here. Yeah.